Good evening, Dr. Ruffin.
Good evening. You sound kind of hollow.
Yeah, I'm using a secondary computer. It'll sound good from the podium.
Okay, thank you.
Can mic check? Two.
Hear me?
Were you asking a question? Hello?
Hey, Dr. Ruffin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You sound clear.
All right, excellent.
Okay, I'm gonna go mute.
I'm ready. A minute. So, Mr. Allen, is everybody on? I mean, is Dr. Ruffin on? Yes, Dr. Ruffin is on. Oh, cool. Okay, so just turn your mic on.
Okay, good to go.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order on the 17th of August, 2022. And first off, I would like to welcome our new student board member, Mr. Kevin Delgado. I hope you enjoy your experience on the board of the Antelope Valley Union High School District. We hope to focus on students. Anything you have to give us, please do.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to announce the August 17, 2022 regular board meeting is being conducted pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953B concerning teleconferencing of meetings. Board member Dr. Victoria Ruffin is participating in the meeting by teleconference from 1414 West Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. The location has been identified on the meeting agenda, and the meeting is being recorded, and all actions will be taken by a roll call vote. Item B on the agenda is roll call. I would like to ask Dr. Ruffin to respond to the following questions. Are you able to hear our proceedings on your end?
Yes,
Yes. Do you have a copy of the agenda for your meeting?
yes,
Has the agenda been posted at your location?
yes,
Is the location such that any member of the public could participate in the public portion of this teleconference meeting from your location?
yes.
And what is the humidity in Georgia? No, just teasing, because I know this time of the year it gets kind of bad. Mr.
Great,
Del.
great question, Ms. Wynn, because it is humid.
We're going to ask the board if you're able to hear Dr. Ruffin. So Mr. Delgado, you're first. Can you hear Dr. Ruffin?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Perrell? Yes. Ms. McGrady?
I'm having a little trouble. I can hear it, but it's pretty faint.
Okay, Ms. McGrady, can you hear me better now?
Thank you.
I think it's because, Matt, I'm sorry. Whoever was setting it up, I think there's two lines set up or something. And it was like a little fog, but it's not coming from me.
Are you on it, Mr. Allen?
There you go, Mr. Allen. I'm about to call him Matt Case. Mr. Allen, thank you, Ms. Wynn.
Just to clarify, due to the internet outage, we had a hotspot set up and then we're able to get in through Zoom. So that was temporary.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so I still hear the vibration too. So that might be what Ms. McGrady is hearing.
All righty. I'll continue on. So, Mr. Rush, can you hear Dr. Ruffin?
Yes.
And I can hear her, but it is faint for me as well. So our next agenda item is closed session. Public business from the floor, closed session agenda items. Are there any comment? Well, there's no public, so I guess there's no comments.
We have no comments for closed
Thank you.
session.
Thank you. All righty then, the Board
Um,
of Trustees will go to closed session and reconvene the regular meeting at 5:00 PM.
Miss Wynn, if there is a constellation, if you guys can't hear me, I can also call in so that there won't be any disruptions with me being able to participate. So I can stay on here and call in and verbalize my votes and my statements, just for a backup, because I don't want to
Okay.
not be heard.
I know.
We, Dr. Ruffin, we feel we're able to keep you on Zoom if the internet does go out here. If not, we will have to come up with a contingency and a phone call is fine.
Okay, so that's why
She
I'm
just wants to
asking for
make
it.
sure she can
That's-
be heard.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking for it now. So while you guys are going into closed session, if there is a separate line, I know that on the Zoom link there also is a number to call in, but I want to make sure that you guys know, it's me calling in and it's not going to be ignored. I just want to make sure that there's no disruptions in that opportunity. Hello?
We can do that, Dr. Ruffin. Right now, the internet's stable, so we'll stick with the Zoom over the internet.
Okay, and you're gonna send me you can email the phone number as well so that I can call in if you guys don't call me.
We will do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, actually, you're coming in much better right at the moment, so we can hear you clearly.
Okay,
If
thank you.
that keeps up, we're good to
Okay,
go.
thank you.
Thank you. we've got everybody here. We're going to reconvene to our regular meeting. But first, I would like to welcome our new student board member, Mr. Kevin Delgado. Looking forward to a great year.
Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to announce that August 17th, 2022 regular board meeting is being conducted pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953B concerning teleconferencing of meetings. Board member Dr. Victoria Ruffin is participating in this meeting by teleconference from 1414 West Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. The location has been identified on the meeting agenda, and the meeting is being recorded. All actions will be taken by a roll call vote. Anyone wishing to observe the meeting may do so via Antelope Valley Union High School District's YouTube channel. Individuals may take photographs or record meetings, provided the individual's conduct does not constitute a disruption, including obstructing the view of others. Those wishing to address items on the agenda and matters that are not on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the high school district board, shall do so in person upon completing a speaker form. We will call the individual's name to come up to the podium to provide their comments. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, with a total time of public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. Non-agendized items are limited to a total time allotment of 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time, and no speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. The district encourages members of the public to attend the board meetings and to address the board concerning any item on the agenda, excuse me, or within the board's jurisdiction. The board does not prohibit public criticism of its policies, procedures, or programs, services, acts, or omissions. Similarly, the board does not prohibit public criticism of district employees. Speakers are cautioned that no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. Attendees are also reminded of the board's civility policy, Board Policy 1313. This policy requires that members of the district staff treat persons and other members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. The district is committed to maintaining disruption-free board meetings. This board will not permit any disturbances or willful intentions of its board meetings. Persistent disruption by an individual or group are grounds for terminating the privileges of addressing the board. Persistent disruption by an individual shall be grounds for the board president to terminate the individual's privilege to address the board. The district promotes mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district board members, district employees, parents, and the public. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. I'm sorry, my throat is dry. I would like to ask Dr. Ruffin to respond to the following questions. 1, are you able to hear our proceedings at your end?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the agenda for this meeting?
Yes.
Has the agenda been posted at your location?
Yes.
And is your location such that any member of the public could participate in the public portions of this teleconference meeting from your location?
Yes.
Okay, members of the board, I have the following questions for you. Are you able to hear Dr. Ruffin? Mr. Delgado?
Yes.
Ms. Perrell? Yes. Ms. McGrady? Yes. Mr. Rush?
Yes.
And Ms. Nguyen is yes as well. I would like us, item B is Pledge of Allegiance, and Mr. Neal, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right hand over your heart. Ready again. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want me to announce it or do you want to? When I was first on the board, Mrs. Wilda Andrzejak was a board member, and she always wanted the song, the national anthem, sung after the Pledge of Allegiance. I always thought that was a great idea, except I can't sing, so we're not going to do that. But item C. Oh, actually, it's not item C. Before we move on with the meeting, I would like to announce that the next regular meeting is scheduled for September 7th. And that evening is also the back to school night. Due to the conflict with the calendars, I would like to get a consensus from the board to hold a special meeting on Thursday, September 8th. If the board agrees to that date,
Ms. Nguyen, just a
Yes.
point of clarification. This would just be rescheduling the meeting for for September 8th.
so it wouldn't be the special.
Correct. It would
meeting.
it'd be a reschedule.
Okay. So reschedule the meeting to September 8th. Do we have any discussion on that? I just need a consensus. It's not a vote.
Just consensus.
Just a consensus. Yeah. Ms. Pearl?
That's fine. Yes.
Ms. McGrady? Yes. Mr. Rush? Ms. Dr. Ruffin?
Yes.
Okay. Student board member?
Yes.
And Denise, and Ms. Nguyen is a yes as well. So we will have the September meeting on the 8th. And I think that's all we have to do. Is that correct? Yay. Number 4 is the PINCO meeting. That's public comments from the floor on our PINCO, any PINCO item.
Yes, we have one comment.
Do you want to call them up? I'll let you.
Susie Calderon.
And as that person is walking up, I'll read this next real quick. The public's invited to address from items on the PINCO agenda or any item that is within the PINCO jurisdiction of the Board of Trustees. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and total time of public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. During public comments, the board listens to comments and issues. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker, and the board may ask questions for purposes of clarification. The law prohibits the board from entering into dialogue with the public or taking action on items not on the agenda. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, thank you. So my name is Susie Calderon. Good afternoon to everybody. I currently have 2 students that attend Little Rock High School, and I do see, of course, Mr. Barajas and the vice principal, I suspect. Thank you. I just want to make sure that they see that I'm here and we're here all together. Okay, so students are missing out what is supposed to be a good nutritious lunch that they need for the remainder of the day, approximately about 3:40, right, is when they get out. Lunch is now at 1:04. So due to the new start time at 8:45, there is that kind of scheduling that I think has affected some students from what I hear. As a parent, what I've observed is that a typical student has to wait 4 more hours to eat any kind of food. It could be maybe they ate breakfast at 7 o'clock or 8 a.m., but they still have to wait until that time. It takes about an average of 15 to 20 minutes for the line to go down. This is quote unquote, and there are only about 5 to 10 minutes to eat, use the restroom, and the restrooms are full, and then walk to the next class. So this is just anecdotal information. I just want you to just put into your mind right now, put yourself in their shoes, being a student from a home where maybe there is no breakfast, right? Riding the bus for maybe approximately an hour, if they're coming from Juniper Hills, Llano, Lake LA, Pear Blossom, and not eat until 1:04, then the student is expected to perform well in classes or attend after-school activities and stay until 6 or 7. On what fuel? Students get maybe a 10-minute break before lunch, and that's it. Sure, there are snack vending machines available for those that can afford it, but their time is then being spent getting to the restroom. So there is an RFP with Cisco Foods about the packaged snack beverage items, and I'm sure they're going to be seeing more business because of that for students that can afford it. So going back to another point in the same kind of vein when it comes to food, there are about 800 lunches that are approximately being served. I got this information from Mr. Barajas. There's an average of about 1,600 students. I know that some of them are independent studies. That means that about half the student body eats lunch at school. That's what I'm just guessing. I could imagine that a certain percentage of students that are bringing home maybe their lunch from home would be nice, but we'll never really know until you actually have a student satisfaction survey. I called AV Foods today, and they told me that there's one link on the website, but they have no responses. So how are we supposed to actually measure whether there's actually true student satisfaction for the food services that we're paying for, right? That's really the point here. Do you know how many minutes more?
30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. So long story short, what I'm thinking is if you can conduct a qualitative study of student food satisfaction surveys on campus, so that it's not online on a web link somewhere, but actually looking at time logistics of how they actually spend their time waiting in line, if they bring their lunch from home, how many of it just throwing it into the trash, and really looking at this money being well spent. There's $41,798.22 being awarded today. So how about putting that money into something that's really going to be effective so that we can really see if students are benefiting from these food services? Thank you.
Did you say that was just one speaker that we have? Okay. All righty. Am I too close to my mic? Am I causing the feedback, Mr. Allen? Item B, approval of agreement with San Joaquin Chemical Incorporated. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees authorize PINCO to enter into an agreement with San Joaquin Chemical Incorporated for their treatment services. May I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? A motion by Ms. Perrell and a second by Ms. McGrady. Any discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Mr. Delgado, what is your recommended vote?
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Perrell,
Aye.
Dr. Ruffin,
Yes.
Ms. McGrady,
Aye.
Mr. Rush?
Aye.
Ms. Nguyen is an aye as well. Motion passes 5-0 with student board member recommending a yes vote. Item C, approval of retainer for Orton Petrini LLC for legal services. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve PINCO's use of Orton Petrini LLC for legal services. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
A motion by Ms. Pearl and a second by Ms. McGrady. Any discussion? Questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Student board member, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Perrell,
Aye.
Dr. Ruffin,
Yes.
Ms. McGrady,
Aye.
Mr. Rush.
Aye.
Ms. Nguyen is a yes as well, so the motion passes 5-0 with student board member voting yes. Approval of agreement with U.S. Cold Storage. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees authorize PINCO to enter into an agreement with U.S. Cold Storage for additional storage as required. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
A motion by Ms. Pearl, a second by Ms. McGrady. Any discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Mr. Delgado,
Aye.
Ms. Perrell,
Aye.
Dr. Ruffin,
Yes.
Ms. McGrady,
Aye.
Mr. Rush.
Aye.
And Ms. Nguyen is an aye as well, and so the motion passes with a vote of 5-0, with our student board member voting yes. Item E is purchase order schedule for Pingo. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and authorize the purchases outlined on the attached schedule. May I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Perrell and a second by Ms. McGrady. Any discussion? Questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Student board member, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Perrell,
Aye.
Dr. Ruffin,
Yes.
Ms. McGrady,
Aye.
Mr. Rush?
Aye.
Ms. Nguyen is an aye as well, so the motion passes 5-0, with student board member recommending a yes vote. That concludes our portion of PINCO, portion of our evening's meetings, and we'll reconvene to the regular meeting. Item 6 is recognition, reports, public comments, and we have a presentation tonight by Little Rock High School Community Schools Initiative.
Good evening to the board, Madam President. I'd like to present Jose Barajas, Principal of Little Rock High School, and Marina Skates, Vice Principal. This evening, they will provide an overview and update on the work that has been taking place at Little Rock High School in collaboration with LA County Office of Education with the Community Schools Initiative.
Not yet.
Thank you. Good evening, Board, Cabinet, Ms. Orozco, Mr. Furno, and Mr. Nehan. Again, thank you for the opportunity to present on the progress and success that we've had at Little Rock High School through the Community School Initiative. Again, I'm Jose Barajas, Principal at Little Rock High School, and next to me co-presenting is Marina Skates, Vice Principal of Little Rock High School, and she's directly overseeing a lot of the work we're doing with the Community School Initiative. A few people I also want to identify is the current leadership team. We're joined with Deputy Superintendent Shannon Williams, Marissa Risling, Director, myself, again, Marina, and Janet Flores, who's our educational community worker. Again, and this is a current leadership team, but by no means is the success I'm going to share solely because of the people and us. It's really the collaboration of community members, agencies, and so there's a lot of people who are part of it, and they were really the reason for the success. And so, as you may recall, about 3 years ago, the Community School Initiative started with LACO, our district, and LA County agencies coming together and really reviewing how to best serve our community. And one of the things that was noted is that between our 3 agencies, we have a lot of great services, and the need for that services is there. But one of the other things that was noted is that those services were being accessed at different rates within different communities. And so really at the heart of the Community School Initiative is to provide access. And that's kind of what the Community School Initiative is about, is to provide access to our community. And so here's our official mission statement. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. The community school model is a strategy aimed at disrupting poverty, addressing longstanding inequities. The approach highlights areas of need and leverages community resources so students are healthy, prepared for college, and ready to succeed in the workplace and civic life. And very similar to our mission is the purpose. And again, the purpose of the Community School Initiative is to build equity. And again, build equity for our students by highlighting areas of need and leveraging community resources so our students are successful. And like this image, we've seen multiple images of how can we really describe equity. And again, a big part of it is access, is providing access. And those of us who are working for agencies for schools, what can we do to make sure that our systems that we have are allowing for access for all our students? And so as we move forward, one of the things we constantly come back to is Maslow's hierarchy of need. So we understand that in order for a community member, for a student to reach self-fulfillment, those basic needs have to be met. And that's really, again, one of the pillars, one of the goals that we're working towards, meeting those basic needs so that they do have access to a successful and productive education. And so what does that look like on campus? In a little while, you're gonna see a video that's gonna summarize some of the work that we've done. But really what I wanna highlight here is that what this looks like in a school is the school becoming a hub of the community where families and students can access healthcare, legal advice, after school and Saturday programs, mental health, strong academic and innovative technology. They're ready for college and career prep. They can access extracurricular activities. It also includes a parent center, adult education, and family support in terms of social services. So that's our goal. And again, we feel like we've made some great progress through this partnership, and we're gonna share some of that tonight. One of the things that I wanna mention is that we're not alone in this path. When LACO and LA County and these agencies came together, they identified 15 districts. And so we've been collaborating not just with those agencies, but also with these districts. All of us have committed to really provide equity and address that need for access. So I'm gonna pass it over to Marina, and she's gonna give us a little bit more details in terms of what are some things that are happening on our campus.
Good evening. So the first thing we want to really talk about are the 4 pillars of community schools. So to really understand the work that we're doing. And so the first thing is collaborative leadership and practice. And so what that really is talking about is bringing all the community members together. So parents, staff members, mental health agencies. And so one of the main components of the community school initiative is having monthly advisory meetings. And so those meetings currently include our counselors, teachers, Antelope Valley Partners for Health as an example. So different agencies around the Antelope Valley participate in those meetings as well. And the second pillar is active family and community engagement. And so we want to make sure that we're reaching out to those parents to engage them with our schools. So we don't want to just say, these are our offerings, but how are we engaging? So one of the great things we do, for example, if we notice a kid's not coming to school, we'll reach out to our community school initiative members saying, hey, can you reach out and talk to this parent to figure out what barriers are currently in place from that student coming to school? So that's how we're trying to get needs assessments from the parents. So not to say that you have to be a part of our advisory committee to hear your voice, but we also providing those surveys and needs assessments to find out what our families need to feel more connected to our school and community. Next is expanded and enriched learning time and opportunities. So how can we expand our current learning for our students? So bringing tutoring services, making sure that our students feel like they have the different resources to really be engaged in their learning environment. And lastly is integrated student support. So really integrating those boots on the ground work for our kids. So bringing mental health services to them, being able to have after school programs. So how can we make sure that we're doing that direct service with our students? So when the LACO Community School Initiative got started, one of the key components was doing a needs assessment. What are some of the priorities of Little Rock community? What are the things that need to be supported and serviced? And so the first was foster youth support. So how can we really support our youth that are experiencing in foster care to make sure that they're connected to our school community? Next is food insecurity. And this has been one of the largest, especially during the pandemic. We had food drives, distributions where families were able to come to Little Rock and get food. You'll see in the video we provide, it was a slew of food. It was milk, meat. So we gave our Little Rock community that access because they are so remote and far out. We also do a partnership with Baby to Babies where we're providing baby formula to parents. They can come pick it up free and have that access. Baby to Baby also provides car seats, strollers, clothing. And so really being able to meet those needs. And it's key to know that it's not only for Little Rock high school students, it's any community member that's in Little Rock can receive these supports and services. Before and after school providers. So with that, we are partnering with the AV Boys and Girls Club. So they're providing after school care. So they did it throughout the summer school. So kids were able to participate in something. We're currently doing it during the school year as well, giving our kids in Little Rock something to do after school and being able to be connected to our Little Rock campus. Substance abuse prevention, we've currently partnered with Tarzana Treatment Center, and they have done presentations for our students. Also, they've done presentation for our parents. So what are the warning signs for vaping? How do you know if your kid may be waxing? So that way our parents are being educated at the same time. One of the things we're most proud of is our parent support. So we currently have a parent resource center. And in that resource center, we have washer and dryers for families to be able to come and wash their clothes if they don't have those accesses at home. We also have parent workshops for parents to come out. How do I have mindful conversation with my kids? How am I able to discipline my kids in a healthy way? And so we're doing that with Parent Bridge. And then also making sure we're reaching our at-promise youth and really giving those tier 2 supports, such as small groups, such as classroom presentations, anything that really helps our kids that are at promise of being at risk of maybe juvenile hall or different things like that. And we actually partner with Child and Family Guidance Centers to do a wraparound service called MST, where they go in the home and work with the parent and student to provide that mental health support. And just trauma-informed training. So UCLA has come out to our school site to provide training to train our staff on how to be trauma-informed. And then most importantly, that mental health support. So we've done suicide prevention training for all of our students. We've also offered different resources, like I said, through Child and Family Guidance Center as well. So this is a quick video. Back in April, we had the LACO team come out and do a site visit. There were many dignitaries from all across. So we had boards of supervisors who came out, different board members from LACO, and also their cabinet members as well. And they came and did a visit to see what the Little Rock Community Schools Initiative looked like, and their communications team developed this video.
Well, today we had an insight on how the partnership with Little Rock High School and LACO and county agencies were partnering together for the community school initiative. So we saw a lot of the great work. We also saw our students and how it's impacting them. We got to see some of the feedback they provided us. We got to see just the good works that Little Rock High School is engaging in through the partnership with the Community School Initiative and LA County.
And what we really need to do is look at different ways to help those families get here.
So it's important to have community partnerships anywhere, but Little Rock is such a unique community that geographically there is no city center. There's no hub other than Little Rock High School. And so being able to provide a single center for parents, students to come in and access resources, it's invaluable to this community.
So today we were coming together just to highlight a lot of the work that's happening within community schools, like our biomedical field, our JROTC, our art department. So a lot of those things kind of bridge back into what I do, because we do collaborate with a lot of projects, a lot of people that work here today.
So one of our new programs is the esports. So it's a CIF sports. We noticed that our students really had an interest for it. And so what we wanted to do is provide that opportunity for them to engage in it. And we're tying that into other curricular activities here on campus. We're connecting it to our coding, to Scratch, to our robotics and our drone programs as well. We also had opportunity to see our library. So we remodeled that space because we started again seeing that a lot of those books were getting checked out, because we started noticing that a lot of those resources students were accessing online. So we needed to change that space where they can collaborate, where they can work and access knowledge.
The big thing, of course, is we're providing a safe place for them to come during snack lunch, during a class period if they need to take a test, or after school, before school.
My favorite aspect of the tour today really were the academic pathways. I love the agriculture. I love the esports, the parent resource center. I love that they have a food pantry. They have a clothes pantry for the students. I love the way their academic pathways really support student interest. Really, this student-centered school is all about outreach for the kiddos.
LACO has a great mission to where we are able to provide support for families and students. In particular, Community Schools Initiative came from the vision of our wonderful Dr. Eduardo. She is a past social worker, and so she really understands that it's important to support our families. And we wanted to really look into the district to see what schools were really in need of support. And in particular, it was Little Rock High School.
I believe it's important to have partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club and with any entity, just because we can pull from different professionals in their respected field, as opposed to trying to become a professional in that field on your own.
So my program is mental health services, and we are providing mental health services to youth who can't receive services at another agency here in the Antelope Valley?
So the LA Regional Food Bank's mission is to fight hunger in the LA community. With LACO and Little Rock, we are concentrating on more rural families to be able to provide resources to food insecure families.
At the start of the pandemic, we started our food distributions. I never seen anything like that. We see stacks of, boxes of meat, boxes of shelf-stable food, even gallons of milk. And so to be out there with community members, handing out these food boxes to the family and seeing the look on their face, you could actually just tell the hardships that they might be going through. And some of them we were able to talk to them one-on-one and get to hear their stories and know that there is a need out here.
And so I think anything that comes back to supporting our youth, supporting our students, supporting their families, always kind of warms my heart, because this is what I want to do. I want to make a positive difference. And I know education is a key to a healthy and productive life.
Thank you. So that just highlights all the amazing things that have been going on at Little Rock. And so as we wrap up, we just want to talk about some of the future projects we have going on. The Parent Resource Center is continuously developing. We're trying to get a Lobo closet off the ground so that people can come and get clothes and other items and necessities they may need. Like I said, the Parent Bridge Workshop is something we're offering all year. It started this school year. It will be about technology, so helping our parents understand how to use Google Classroom, how to draft an email. Some of those skills aren't there, so that's some of the workshops we'll be offering. We'll be developing an partnership with Antelope Valley Partners for Health to do a mental health collaboration. We'll also be doing Wolf Connection and Drumming for Life, which are excellent educational programs for our youth. And we also just got notice that we will be participating in the CCSPP grant, where they'll be giving us $70,000 to spend to bring SEL curriculum to our school sites, technology, and different things to bridge those gaps around SEL. And lastly, LACO will be providing us with a full-time social worker that will be on campus 40 hours a week to really be helping our kids out. So thank you, and that's kind of our presentation.
Marina, any questions or comments for us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Barajas.
Every time I come out to Little Rock High School, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and it's a good day at Little Rock High. Thank you so much for all you do for the students and the community in the Little Rock area. It's amazing. Just totally amazing. Thank you both for your presentation too, to let us know what all is going on. Thank you. Thank you.
I had some comments too, Miss.
I'd like to thank you for your presentation. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you.
I would just like to add real quick is that we received notification that LACO did receive a 5-year grant that will allow us to expand and continue this work at an additional school. So we will start the planning year this year with Antelope Valley High School.
Wow, congratulations. How cool is that?
Miss Wynn, are you able to hear me?
Too, Mr. Barajas.
Miss Wynn, are you able to hear me?
No, that was LACO's communication team. They did an awesome job.
They did. They really did. Thank you.
Miss Wynn,
Did you have a comment?
Yeah, I've been trying to speak and I kept getting cut off. I wasn't sure if you all were able to hear me.
It appears as though her hand is up, but we can move on.
I don't have a hand. Oh, okay. Okay. Very nice presentation. Thank you. Item B is board officer report, and that's me. Antelope Valley School Board Association is dark in July, and so is Los Angeles County School Trustees. So I don't have a report for either one of them. We do have our Antelope Valley School Board Association Ed Summit coming up in September, and that will be held at Lancaster High School. It's always a nice event. Food Services does a wonderful job in presenting, and then Lancaster does an amazing job in presenting all the different clubs and activities they have going as well. Item C is Antelope Valley School Transportation. Do we have a report, Mr. Hawkins?
Nothing new to report. They are working on doing the transportation for the last week and a half and working a lot of bugs out of the system.
I saw, I do have ask a question. I saw in the newspaper that the Antelope Valley School Transportation is considering buying some electric buses.
Yes, they have some grants that they'll be awarded to purchase. There's quite a few buses. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but they will be receiving a grant for that from different grantees.
I probably have more questions down the line, but I'm just curious too. Not right now, but I'm curious about how long those buses can go between charging. I know sometimes, I mean, we're sending buses to prom, down to museums and stuff. I'm just curious.
They would be used primarily for local transportation. They wouldn't be for the long distance and
Okay.
or the equivalent for like Little Rock because of the distance. They're primarily used for in town. And remember, they also provide transportation for West Side and Lancaster School District.
Oh, okay.
So between the three of our districts, those electric buses would be used more in town, meaning Lancaster and Palmdale proper.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions? Item D is from
Wynn, can you hear
AVTA,
me?
Mr. Michael Millings.
Miss Wynn, can you hear me? Miss Wynn? Hello?
Good evening, members of the board. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Michael Millings, and I am the newly elected president of the Antelope Valley Teachers Association. I am a graduate of this district and have served as a teacher in this district for 24 years. As AVTA and the district get back to the bargaining table next week, I would like to remind this board that we are in the midst of the worst teacher shortage this nation has ever experienced. Our district alone has dozens of unfilled teaching positions, in addition to several unfilled school nurse and speech and language pathologist positions. The reasons for such a shortage could be debated. However, the problem this district faces cannot be solved solely through the recruitment of highly qualified certificated staff. More important to the district than recruiting highly qualified certificated staff should be the retention of the certificated staff this district chooses to employ. Moving forward, the district and AVTA need to have open and honest discussions as to why many certificated staff members have chosen to leave this school district. These discussions may be uncomfortable for some, but they need to happen. I stand in front of you today to say that AVTA is eager to work with this board and cabinet in an effort to collaboratively find solutions to a problem that, quite frankly, will not go away anytime soon. Turning to Mr. Neal, on behalf of AVTA, I would like to congratulate you on a decades-long career in public education. You can sail off into the retirement sunset knowing you proudly served the students of the Antelope Valley Union High School District for over 35 years. Good luck to you and Mrs. Neal. AVTA wishes you the best in the next chapter of your lives. Thank you all for your time this evening.
Thank you. E is from CSEA, Karen White.
Miss Wynn, can you hear me?
Good afternoon, Board President, Ms. Wynn, board members, and welcome to our new student board member, Mr. Delgado. Board Cabinet, Mr. Nian, Ms. Orozco, and of course, Mr. Furno. You know, you realize now that we've come full circle when we're back to having afternoon board meetings. And all of the signs of the new school year for 22-23 are beginning. Even though we're in our second week of school, it looks like things are beginning to fall back into place, and a routine is far from stable, but the change in our light hours are getting there. CSEA is looking forward to meeting with the district's negotiation team in September. Rumor has it that you're looking at giving us a 20% salary raise to offset the high gas prices. And I think that's pretty generous of you. Or did I just hear a gasp? from your negotiations team. I guess we'll have to work on that. However, I think that sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. There's probably lots more that I could say or should say right now, but I'll save that for later. But I also will piggyback on Michael's congratulations to Mr. Neal and to Karen, and hope that your retirement is everything you dreamed of. So let me extend a welcome to our new student board member, Mr. Delgado. It's good to meet you. Glad to have you on board. Since our work this week has been a dreary and relentless high temperature kind of a week, I wish you a cooler day and night. And as we got closer to our weekend, and maybe the ability to recuperate after our second week of school. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Ms. Nguyen, before we go to the next item, Dr. Ruffin was knocked off the call. She's back, and I believe she has some comments about the Little Rock High School presentation, if that's okay with you.
Of course.
Can you hear me,
Dr.
Ms.
Ruffin?
Nguyen? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Second, we're having technical difficulties. Is she on? They're checking. Oh, okay. I need to fill my head.
Sorry for that, Ms. Nguyen. We can
There's
proceed with the
nothing
comments
wrong-
from the public,
there's
and then as we
nothing
try to
wrong
get
with
her
Ms.
back
Hyde.
in, she's going to
I-
call
and
in on
I'm
a phone
on the
line,
phone. I
and we
didn't
can hear
have
her comments after that.
on.
Just let me know whenever.
I got two
We can
devices.
do the
on
old
here.
fashioned, put the phone to the mic or something like that, whatever, just so we can get her participation. So item F is public comments from the floor on agendized items. Are there any comments, Ms. Roscoe?
Yes, we have comments from the
Okay,
public.
because what is
Okay, I'm gonna just
what
read
it
this
says.
statement then.
says
The
number
public's invited to address the board on
9
any agenda item. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and total time for public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. During public comments, the board listens to concerns and issues. The board may ask questions for purposes of clarification. The law prohibits the board from entering
Okay,
into
so
a
you-
dialogue with
so
the
you don't want me
public
to call that
or
number right
taking
now?
action on items that are not on the agenda.
Oh, thank you so much. Gotcha. Okay.
Our first
Susie
speaker.
Calderon. This one's on agendized. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, second. We have 3 different comments, but they're different ones. So I'm just trying to get back there.
Okay, can I go ahead and begin? Yeah. Okay, thank you again. So again, my name is Susie Calderon, and 2 of my children attend Little Rock High. Such a great presentation to then now be standing here before you, yet there's still always work to be done. So as you all know, there is a national and statewide shortage of fully credentialed teachers that we just heard. Nevertheless, I think it's definitely the board's responsibility and obligation to explain to parents and the public alike the strategy that you have in place. I know that there's some agenda items that will address that as far as a single subject and the short-term permits as well. As of yesterday, a class filled with 9th graders sat in front of a laptop with no formal teacher or no instruction in the visual imagery class, just wasting their time. For nearly 2 weeks, there is a person who takes roll and that's it. That's unacceptable. They should have passed a single subject or short-term permits earlier this month to get them ready for the start of the school year. Pass the personal services action items for the provisional internship permits and the short-term staff permits. Recruit recently graduated students from child development programs such as CSUN, Cal State LA, Dominguez Hill, Long Beach. As you can see, those are issues and solutions to these problems. I know it's not the end all, but it's just the beginning, and I would like to see that action happen from this board. Another issue on the agenda is 12 and 13. And with regard to the education of student services, there is hardly any mention of Little Rock in services such as college tours with on a mission youth travel, the Vantage Learning Cloud-based program, Ansar Stan El Mohammed Helper Services. Why are these services mostly going to Palmdale, Antelope Valley, Eastside, Knight, et cetera, et cetera? How about Little Rock at Promise students, formerly known as at-risk students? Are the Nearpods tutoring services going to be available for Little Rock? Is the On the Mission group going to have Little Rock from the 33, at least one student from the 33 allotted student spaces at Little Rock as well with one chaperone? Will they offer the presentations to parents about college and opportunities and requirements? By the way, this year Little Rock was not part of the virtual academic program for classes with the AP status for physics and trig and calculus, and et cetera, et cetera. I had to personally enroll my kid with some help of counselors to get her enrolled into this program. Nothing was offered at Little Rock, nor mentioned on the flyer that the virtual academy would be at Little Rock. It was only the other schools I just mentioned. You need to include Little Rock when it comes to these programs so that every youth gets a fair chance to apply and that you level the playing field. There were no volunteers, parents named on the 2022-23 volunteer list dated 8/17. In fact, today, I did finally get my application. Mr. Barajas knows that I was able to submit my application, and hopefully he will still have me after today. But I don't have that status yet. So why not Little Rock? Again, we need to do better in being able to look out for Little Rock. And also the workability program for students, it's not at Little Rock. So again, please put Little Rock on your radar. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, try
Maybe.
again.
Okay, let me mute this. Can you hear me now, Ms. Williams?
Okay, let me go in forward row. Did you click on one of those numbers?
I probably am going to be very short because I just saw this agenda on the item about the roofing for Quartz Hill. My son years ago did graduate from there, and I have no problem about them getting a roofing. But what I do have a problem about, and let me go back and say thank you, Ms. Orozco, Ms. Ramos, Ms. Riesling, and actually the new principal, Mr. Charles Dunn, and especially Dr. Ruffin. But no, going back to this roofing situation, it was said a year or two ago, at least a year ago, and under Dr. Vieira's board, under his watch, that you all were told about Highland. You were told about how Highland did not have, we didn't even have buses to take these kids to games and all types of things. We parents were sending these kids in our cars. Students on the team were driving them. Even people that were under your watch that did not even have the credentials to be doing any driving were driving these kids. So if you all are able to put a roof on top of a school, which is Quartz Hill, you know, like I said, my son went there too. But the issue I'm having is East Side and Knight gets certain things, Quartz Hill gets certain things, but I hear the East Side, when they've come up in this here building here, they don't get things at all. They don't get sidewalks and things fixed or anything like that. They've been here a whole lot. You guys are hearing what they're saying, the complaints are, but it just falls on dead ears. And as far as that going, we have Mr., what's his name? I just met him, was so kind, Charles Dunn. He asked me if he could be any help to me. I hope so, because Chris Grado didn't do it, and I don't know even how he got on this board. And I say that for simply to say this: when parents come to you for a need or have issues at your school and you need things done, repairs, buses, we were paying DJ Hines, the then said so-called coach, money out of our pockets to take the kids to school. But you guys act like you didn't hear when Dr. Ruffin brought that up. So if the funds are good enough to put a new roof, the way they are really beautifying Quartz Hill, don't you think it's wise to do something at Highland and these other schools? Especially like I would hear some of the coaches that would say things such as, I don't remember what that's called, the sports box or something like that. They've been wanting to have all types of stuff over there at Highland. We never have had it. Other schools got all that. I know Coach Kill does. So why don't we wait? Why don't we do what we should do? Use some of the funds and the monies that you all have that you so graciously are able to pay certain people on this staff or just make up positions to do something for the kids, as well as paying for good school food and different things. So the roofing for Quartz Hill, I think that might can wait. They got a lot of beautification that's going on.
30 seconds.
So let's try to say, let's go see what the safety needs of these other schools are. Just take a walk. Just look through them and see what's going on, because they definitely need them. But Mr. Dunn, I'm going to ask you if you could please see if they have transportation for kids that are going on different sportings and stuff. It just seems it falls on certain things like basketball and football, and those things don't get done, you know, for the district. So I believe that you will look into that, because some of the other athletic directors were not able to do that. Thank you.
Dr. Ruffin, are you able to hear us now?
Yes, I can. I've been able to hear you guys. For some reason, you all can't hear me. Hello?
What I'd
Hello?
suggest is just a brief 2 or 3 minute recess. We don't have to leave the
Okay.
dais, but just allow Mr. Allen time to
Okay.
reset our Zoom link.
Okay. Mr. Allen, just let us know when you are ready for us to resume the meeting.
Oh, wait, this one. That one. Which one? Oh, okay.
Hey, Dr. Ruffin, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I've always been able to hear. I don't know why you all can't hear me. And the links that you
Speaking of, we're not
sent-
getting any sound here, so I'm going to reset the whole meeting, and so we're going to stop the meeting, and then you're going to have to log back in.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go out. Do you want me to call back in, or do you want me to? I'm gonna log in on the computer and I'm gonna call back in too.
I just